Good rainy Monday morning here in Florida. It is Monday, November, what is it? November 22nd, 2021. How's everyone out there this morning? I don't even know what day it is anymore. Anyway, looking at, yeah, going back to yesterday. Yesterday is just one of those games with the Jets. It's a game you know they should have won. And that's a game that they let victory slip away because, the Miami Dolphins be all blitz heavy they want. The Jets should have won yesterday's game. Miami's not that good. They were beatable. They were everything, and I just don't understand. And why can they not win in their division? I understand the Patriots, who by the way are back to business as usual, and then the Bills because the Bills are, but so have Miami, and they've been one of those guys that's a thorn in everyone's side. But they were so beatable yesterday. Tua Tagovailoa is not that good of a quarterback. The Jets decide to use Joe Flacco, who, by the way, they got mocked all week about because they figure with Zach Wilson hurt, Mike White. I mean, obviously the story ended with Mike White. I mean, it was a one game wonder, 1.25 game wonder, if you think about it. Before all of a sudden he gets killed by the number one defense in the Buffalo Bills last week, and everyone's like, see ya. And then we go to yesterday. So Joe Flacco's the starting quarterback. He actually put on a decent performance, all things considered. The Miami Dolphins, again, like I said, like to just run blitz scheme after blitz scheme. And the offensive line, for the most part, did a good job picking up the blitzes. The thing that, and for a good first half, the Jets looked really darn good. I said, you're sitting there first half. I'm like, oh my God. I said they could actually have a chance to be, they've been the better team. And they were. The first half, albeit, the opening drive where the Dolphins marched 83 yards right down the field, for a touchdown. I mean, all else, the Jets were the better team, saying, man, we actually could win this thing, but it's the Jets. And, you could say that they're the better team all you want, but they'll still find a way to lose. And after everything, first and foremost, Matt Amendola needs to be cut. I'm sorry. We celebrated over, we thought he'd be an upgrade over Sam Ficken. We were wrong. It's the kicking issues is still there, and he just stinks. And he has stunk for most of this year. Sorry to say it. The guy can't even kick a 40-yard field goal. What does that go to show you? But a big thing that happened that sunk the Jets yesterday in their 7-point loss, and let's face it, it doesn't feel like they lost by 7 points, is the Jets let 13 points off the board, 6 of which was by 2 missed field goals, and 7 of it was probably by the most glaring play of the day. Even though the score is still tied 7-all, the Jets are on goal. They're running the ball down. I mean, they are moving the football, nicely done by the offense. I mean, you're talking. I mean, Joe Flacco's getting these guys I've never heard of down the field. I mean, he had Ryan Griffin. I know Ryan Griffin. A nice 30-yard stride. He had this tight end number 48. I don't even know who he is. No, he had a big 20-yard gain. Crowder doing his business. Michael Carter doing his business, and I hope he's okay. I know he took a hit there late in the game. But then the Jets get in a goal-to-go situation, a 2nd and goal on the 8-yard line. The game, it scores 7-7, and I forgot who it was that came off a cover zero blitz, knocked the ball right out of Flacco's hands and into the Miami defender, into the defensive lineman. 7 points right out the door. I mean, Miami may not have capitalized on it, but still, that's a golden opportunity that the Jets let slip out the door. So, in more reasons than one, this was a Jet victory yesterday that they let slip. And it's just absolutely it's just gets rebuild, rookie, inexperience, yeah. I don't care. When you're supposed to win a football game, you need to win. You're supposed to. I mean, when you're 2-8, how do you think teams like the Tennessee Titans, who, oh, by the way, lost to crap yesterday in the Houston Texans, who only the Jets are going to face on next Sunday, and the Cincinnati Bengals, you'd probably sit there scratching like, how did we lose to this garbage? Matt Collins is still running from Ashton Davis down the Jersey Turnpike. He's probably somewhere in the mid-Atlantic by now. I mean, Tua Tagliavoa, not that good. But the Jets' defensive line had a number of opportunities to take him down, including on said play. You know, he somehow gets the ball up and Matt Collins is wide open from here to exit 4 of the Turnpike. Not here, but from the Meadowlands to exit 4 of the Turnpike. Something like that. Some stupid, whatever. Don't mind me. But he was wide open, dear God. Ashton Davis, who by the way had an interception in the game on an overthrow by Tua. I mean, went from goat to hero, right? I mean, yeah, left him wide open. Wide open. It was awful. The guy who had a good game yesterday, though, a good fact is it was Elijah Moore. Another breakout performance, starting to become the guy we expected him to be. He had, what was it, 6 catches, 141 yards yesterday. I think, was it 65 of them came on that touchdown that he caught late in the third quarter, and they tied the game 14 apiece. I mean, he had a monster game yesterday. He was involved. I'm sorry, in my prior statement, I forgot to include him. But Elijah Moore looked good. But all else. And we're, by the way, I think all of us are still I think we're just accepting the fact, where's Denzel Mims? Looks like we don't even really need him, do we? But my goodness, another win. And then the fourth quarter came, the Jets barely saw the football anymore. On the opening play of the fourth quarter, Miami drove, and then the opening play of the fourth quarter, they're in the end zone. Myles Gaskin, a check down route, 8-yard easy touchdown. And after the Dolphins went ahead by 7 points, after that, the Jets barely saw the football. Miami just methodically went down the field. The Jets didn't help themselves with Miami having the ball in the Jet 40-yard line. And then, thinking the Jets are going to get off the field. I forgot who it was. I don't know who half the secondary is anymore. Someone got called for a defensive holding penalty, and that moved Miami up. I mean, they've got the stop there. Miami's giving the ball back to the Jets. And speaking of management, why in the second half of an evenly played game is Robert Saleh letting 2 timeouts get burned? And it caused him in the last part of the game, when he went in desperate attempt to do something. So, a defensive holding penalty hurt the Jets. They get further down, and you're thinking to get off the field and get the ball back in sooner time. No. Let's take another penalty. I forgot what it was for. I think it was another holding penalty. I forgot what it was. I'm so blinded and pissed off. I don't even know what it was. But it was the 2 big penalties on the drive that ultimately sealed the game. Miami chewed the clock down. Check little small check downs and running the football. Miami chewed the fourth quarter clock down. They didn't get in the end zone, but they got the field goal, which was more than enough to get the job done. But by the time it was 24-14 late in the game, with literally not much time left, Robert Saleh only had a timeout to work with. And then he waits till there's 23 seconds left to burn it. Are you kidding me? You wait till 23 seconds, and then this is just like Atlanta. The Atlanta game in London, the same exact ordeal. Except the Jets were not trailing by 17 points in that game. But they kick a field goal and rely on an onside kick to try and add a desperate move, which they weren't going to get. So it's just unfathomable to me with everything that transpired, especially as they have. How did you sit there and wonder as a man? I'm sorry, how did we lose that game yesterday? For the good chunk of the game, the Jets were the better team. The Dolphins, held the ball in that fourth quarter, and then the Jets made the mistakes that they made. We're an inexperienced team, and I understand. Inexperienced, like I said, you can only grow from this. You can only, you know what I'm saying? You can only grow from this, but, I mean, the offense is looking a lot better. I mean, I'm not going to lie, from years past, they have started to look a lot better, but the defense, I miss the days of I miss the days of Sexy Rexy and even Todd Bowles. They weren't so terrible, so to speak. They weren't this bad. But I mean, any decent, solid defense wins that game yesterday. I'm sorry. How these guys couldn't wrap up and take Tua down. And there was another sequence in the game where they should have done so. And don't forget the big play that CJ Mosley whiffed, opening part of the game. In the first opening drive of the game, Mosley whiffed on a tackle, and the guy eluded it and got down to the 2 yard line. I forgot who it was, but CJ Mosley, the leader, whiffed on a tackle. I got to the 2 yard line. A couple of plays later, Jaden Waddle was in the end zone. So nobody's exonerated from this, especially on the defense. How many times they let Tua get away, how many missed tackles, and just totally letting the Dolphins chew the clock down in that fourth quarter. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely disgusting. 2-8, the season's dead, obviously. It's a lost cause. We know this. This comes as no surprise. But this is yesterday. It was just the team is inexperienced. We get it. But it just pisses me off that they should have won this game yesterday. This game was winnable. Miami's not that good. Their quarterback's not that good. Everyone laughed that the Jets decided to join Joe Flacco. Well, he was the only experienced one that could pick up those blitzes because God forbid, if Zach Wilson were in the game, until he shows otherwise with the season meaningless, he's not going to win my graces. Zach Wilson, all he does is throw coup de grace. From what I've seen. Zach Wilson's going to get a harsh reality lesson. It's like, yeah, you're not wearing, little Huggies in BYU. You're wearing the big boy pants of New York City. All right, that's what it's going to be. Mike White, I think it sucked that they Saleh turned on him. I think it sucked. And then Joe Flacco, what do we get him for? But, not as, they almost they did their job yesterday for the most part. When you have a kicker that can't kick, and I mean, he should be cut today. I'm sorry. He needs, you want to give him something for Thanksgiving and turkey and whatever, cut him. So, he deserves to be on an unemployment line, but who do you get? What kind of kicker do you get? I remember that kid we had a few years ago, Jason Myers. He was accurate. That guy was good. And we couldn't pay him, so he gets away. And even if the Jets still had Jamal Adams, he can only probably take so much, which is probably the reason why he's not even on the Jets anymore. The money, and then, he's sick of losing. Well, Jamal, how's that working out for you in Seattle? So, guy's been getting burned and everything. His schemes don't fit him in Seattle. So, I mean, you can change the personnel. The personnel is probably the most ineffective, inexperienced pile of crap we've seen. But the bottom line is this: the game was winnable yesterday. I'm sorry. I know we see Miami again on December 19th, I believe it is. We see them again. But I just there's not much more to say. They let the game get away, right? I understand it's a trying process. It's a trying, long process. And hey, for what am I supposed to take consolation? And they didn't get up 45 points again? I mean, what are we supposed to take out of this? That they fought hard? That they lost by only 7 points? What are we supposed to get out of this? So, I want wins. I want victories. Okay? I don't like moral victories. I want wins on the scoreboard. Where you score more points than the other team. That's what I want. The only thing that doesn't matter is the preseason. That's all else. All else, when it matters the most, I want wins. You got the Houston Texans next Sunday. Same exact record. They haven't had their stud quarterback all year who's been in enough troubles of himself. Then Tyrod Taylor. Oh, we all know we all remember Tyrod Taylor, right? 2015. The game that really sent the Jets into the armpit of the NFL. And they just have not recovered. Tyrod Taylor. Oh, and look at what they did to Tennessee yesterday. Look at that. They only went into Tennessee yesterday and beat them. I mean, unreal. Again, Tennessee, the top team in the AFC, they lost to the Texans and they lost to us. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? And watch Houston get motivated and they'll beat us. And after all, we went in and faced the Dolphins team yesterday that only went and, beat the pants off of Lamar Jackson. That gave him all the confidence in the world. And yet we were that close to beating that, right? That being said, anyway, 16 minutes I've had on here. I don't know what more is to say for those of you that read this boring stuff. I know I should probably have kept it to 10 minutes, if not less, but it's the Jets. I'm not happy, and so on and so forth. That being said, deuces for now. Talk to you. Maybe we'll celebrate a win next week. Probably not. Anyway, deuces.